Alrighty.
The number of battlefields I've seen, I was bound to pick something.
Okay, going straight to point here. Okay. I think you should be contesting high ground here as a team instead of going low ground. This might have been a misplay here as communication, because I think part of your team goes high ground and then the rest does not. Let's just watch the main tank here. Okay, so yeah, you guys should definitely be going high ground here. You have a Lucio, so you would definitely beat them if you went race for the race high ground, because they don't have a Lucio, they don't have a Symmetra, they didn't TP out of spawn, so you're gonna beat them there. So your Baps is going high ground, your Lucio's going high ground, McCree's going high ground, and then the other two are going low ground. So you just, at the beginning here, you want to push high ground as a team, push the enemy off high ground, and then if somebody needs to drop to point after, you can do that. You can't do the opposite, obviously, so you should just be all together as a team right here. Thanks. So your Reinhardt realizes this a little bit late. Your Mei and your McCree are not down there. It's kind of weird. Not a terrible charge, and also a nice try on the wall. This would have been a huge wall had you been up here as Mei. If your whole team had been up here, then if they walk out, you can wall somebody, your Rein can charge them. It's very good. Instead, this is kind of messy here. Your Baptiste is all the way down here. Your Rein's up here. Your Mei is down there. It's kind of a mess. But I do see why you tried to do what you did. Okay, so your Rein needs a drop here now that he's completely alone. You guys are up one by some miracle. So your McCree popped off, got a kill there. So now that you guys got a kill, you guys can kind of getting this brig is good, but you guys can just regroup and push in, pick them off one by one as long as you're fighting together. The more 1v1s you take, the more risk there is that they turn this around on you, right? So if you guys just steamroll over them with a 5v4 advantage, they really won't have much of a chance to turn this around. But if you take a bunch of 1v1s and then a 2v1 or something, then you could lose some of those 1v1s and they could turn it around. It's good to go for the brig down here because she's really out of position. I like this. I do think your Lucio should probably be with you. He's hanging out over here doing Lucio things. He's probably trying to help the Mei up here who's fighting the Zarya. But as I was saying earlier, it's kind of like you don't want to be taking all these 1v1s. So like right now the Mei is 1v1 in the Zarya, your Ryan's 1v1 in the brig. And then these two are hanging out on point. So it's really like they could very easily turn this around even though you guys are up, so you just want to play together since you're up. Okay, we've given up on the brig, so now that you missed that charge, you probably want to push them off the high ground or something, leave somebody down on the point. Okay, very weak. Cool, so this would be, I was going to say this would be a good charge, so this is good. So you just want to, I think I want to see the Lucio playing a little bit more with a Reinhardt here, so I just want to see what the Lucio's doing real fast to put like for this fight. But the Reinhardt I think would be getting a lot more value if you were sticking with the Lucio. So I think this is right play being up here as Lucio right here when you're doing this push. Kind of the same thing with the rest of your team. Your team's really good for this point. Like this whole push, it would be perfect for your team. So say you speed boost out of spawn, and then your whole team runs around up here, and now you have 3 ways to screw them up. So immediately as Lucio, you should be hauling ass the whole way, and then you get up here and you wait right here. And if anyone comes out, you boop them off the edge, right? Obviously unless it's a Zarya, because she's gonna move 3 millimeters and then not fall. But anyone else, you sit right here as Lucio, you are now a huge threat for them coming up here. So the first threat on your team is Lucio, the second one is the Mei walling them off up here, and the third one is your Rein charging them. All of those would be very good, so you just get your whole team to come up here and do that, and it would be very good. Anyways, so I'm gonna go back to watching what Lucio was doing here, but okay, good idea to drop there since nobody was with you. Maybe could have gone for a parting boop there. That was a good boop. I was wondering why the brig was down there. That was good. But so it's a good job trying to, you know, contest high ground right now as Lucio. But you just really, like, since this is like it's a 5-stack, you guys got to be working together more as a team. I just need to see like anybody else basically trying to contest the high ground as a team. Like, you don't care about the point right now. Step 1, win the fight, and then get the point. Like, you guys are risking losing this fight and having them turn this fight around because you want to cap the point. So I know you're up 1, or I think you're about to be up 1. Yeah, you're already up 1. But you're giving them a chance to turn it around. So, like, just make sure that the fight is solidly won. And then if they're all running away, yeah, go ahead and get the point. But, like, when they're still all fighting, you don't want to split your team just to cap the point and give them a chance to turn it around. So it would be good just to see the Ryan and the Lucio playing a little bit more together. And then same with the Mei. You know, speed boost is really, really insane with Mei and as well as with Reinhardt for obvious reasons. Okay, I wouldn't have dropped there, I don't think, as Ryan. Your whole team was with you. They were all coming up to help you there. You were basically full HP, so I don't really think there was much of a reason to drop there. Okay, a little sloppy. So I think that should have been a really clean win for you guys, since you were already up. You just didn't really play together and just got picked off one by one. You kind of let them control the high ground for most of that fight. So I think you really just got to basically get your Mei up there, get your Mercury up there, or your Cassidy up there, and then just kind of stop them from being able to do anything. You got to be careful with jumping so much as Mei, especially when you're facing an Ashe or anybody that's a sniper. You don't want to make it easier for them to headshot you. I'd probably break the wall there since you walled off some people that were downed. So just communicate what ults you're planning to use this fight. So since you're coming in here and you have your hero shatter, or you're about to, like, you got to be thinking, okay, what ults are we going to use? Or if your Ryan's going to shatter, he should probably say that at a minimum, you know, before Reinhardt calls it out in game, right? So like right around here where he's like 99%, he should probably be like, I'm going to shatter, right? So when he does it, like, because this wall comes up at the exact same moment, like if this wall was a half second or even less earlier, these two guys right here don't even get shattered. So you really want to make sure that you're communicating, especially when you have a Mei and a Reinhardt, that you're not going to be blocking the shatter. But as Mei, when you see this, when you see that you've kind of blocked the shatter, if these two in the back did not get hit, which they did, then maybe you want to keep the wall up because now you're stopping the healers from healing them, right? But since they both did get hit, you want to drop this because it's going to block your Reinhardt's Flame Strike or anybody else from finishing them off while they're downed. So I would probably break this wall immediately once you see that they're falling right there. You do break it, but it was a little late. Still, huge shatter. That was good. Really clean win. Did a jump pushing up there as your whole team, just cleaning them out. Just a little bit, you know, watch the communication with. I don't know about that wall. That was kind of random. So I think it was fine to push up right there and get a wall. So I love how it's. Okay. So right here, I think it is good to push up and get a wall here, or it's totally acceptable. Like, because they all just died like 2 seconds ago, right? So you know that they're still in spawn, but they're about to walk out. I think it's fine to get a wall like right here. Like, I would push up even a little more as Mei. Push up like right here maybe, and then put the wall basically maybe in the same spot. Your team can get a kill there. That's like, you can definitely get a kill and wall them off like right here. Totally doable. Just coming up here and firing off a wall when they're just in spawn, I don't really think is particularly useful. But with this comp, your comp's pretty good at punishing people when they get walled. With the Mei and the Reinhardt can just pin people into the wall. It's pretty good. So you do want to be trying to play around these walls, and you want to be waiting until you actually see someone, until you get that off. Backing up is fine. I think you do want to play for a little bit more poke here, and also playing this doorway right here right in front of you, that's also a really good spot for a wall. If they do decide to fight you in here, which they probably shouldn't, but they might. Okay, they did, so that would be a really good spot for a wall right there. You guys are playing pretty scared here. I don't think you need to be scared of their comp inside a small enclosed space, really. Like, the only things they really have is, like, that's really good in an enclosed space is Ash's Dynamite, and I mean, I guess Brig kind of, but mostly Zarya's right click. But I think your comp is better in a smaller enclosed space just because you have Mei Reinhardt. Like, you have way more cleave, you got the wall, you have 2 places to wall them off, so you've got this first door right here, you've got this door to wall, and then again you've got right here as well. You could do it on this corner, like right there, you could put a wall, and then you could do it again on this door. So like you have 3 different choke points that you can kind of utilize to get walls and divide their team up and kill them. So like right here, if your team was just chilling, hiding behind the Rhine shield here, and then you just back this up like a couple seconds before this Ashe walked in, and then you just walled that door, these guys are dead. The Brig is definitely dead. The Genji probably dashes out. The Zarya is now left alone. She's probably dead after that. But you definitely get the Brig. The Brig is absolutely just dead. If you just wall that and speed into it, there's no way. They can't do anything. So just you want to be playing to your strengths here, and in this case, I think your biggest strength of this comp is you need to be playing around your wall. So I don't want to be seeing you guys backing up quite as easily as you are. God, that is so weird to watch that just fly across the map. Okay, they didn't do a good job following up on that. So that was a decent, still not used to this new grenade thing, but that was decent just as McCree to try and zone people off the grab. And when you saw the Genji dash into the left, where is it? Yeah, so right here the Genji dashes into the left in a second after the grab, right there. So it was good to roll off to the left and try and hit him in the back here. I like that because he's obviously shooting at the grab. So that's good positioning there. Right here, it would have been, so say you did have your high noon during that grab, I probably would have high nooned there. Just because it's really good to try and zone people off of the grab. They can't get really, really up in its face and aggressive and really follow up on it because you're zoning them off with a high noon. High noon, as you're probably aware, not the best ultimate in the game. Often just a free trip to spawn. So it's very good to use it just to zone people off of things like an Earth Shatter or a Graviton Surge sometimes in the right situations. I think that was one of those right situations that if the enemy team had had a couple more brain cells, they might have been up in that grab and actually ready to follow up on it, and your team might have been in trouble. And if you had done that if you had your ultimate, it would have been a good time to use it. So even right here, though, this is kind of a good time as well. So the team, because they're kind of committed, the Genji's kind of trapped out here. He's probably dead anyways, but you could probably, at the very least, make sure this Genji dies, which he does. But would have been not the worst time for an ultimate. I don't know about pushing in here right now with. Okay, I think this is pretty good. Actually, God, you walled that, nice. So I just want to see this wall, but the wall is really good here. Okay, so Genji goes in, Genji does stupid things and dies. Good cleanup on that. Okay, that was a pretty good wall. The Rhine charges right into it, that was perfect. Okay, I would not have used any other ults there, since you're already up to Genji and you're up the Brig. I definitely would not have used the Mei ult there, you're up 2. So like when you're in a fight, I just want to see you counting. Like, have a mental tally in your head of like how many people are alive on each team. So you started that fight and you were 5v5, they grabbed, nobody on your team died, they were a little weak but nobody died, the Genji dies, and then you come up here, you wall people off, huge wall, and then you kill the Brig, right? So right here, you're like, okay, we are currently 3v5, you're totally fine. Like, you don't need anything here. Yeah, and they use Bob, whatever, dude. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, even if you count Bob as a whole other teammate, they're 4v5. They're still down one. You definitely don't need anything here. I probably would have just used your ice block here and just chilled out. But definitely don't need anything else. Definitely didn't need that beat, but it's okay. I mean, it's a clean fight win, or I would like it would have been clean without the ults. I think like it was like, yeah, clean because you killed them all really quick, but you didn't need all of those ults to do that, because now they're coming in. They have their big ults. They have their blade. They have their kitsune. And you guys have Earth Shatter, but that's basically it. So like you basically just have to hit a huge Earth Shatter this next fight, or nothing happens, and they just win. So I definitely would have saved both of those ults, the beat and the Mei ult, right there. But so what I would do this next fight, if I was on your team, is I would probably say your Rein should hide. So I'd probably have him chill, maybe right here. And then the rest of your team sits with like a Lucio, maybe back here or wherever they sit, or maybe here or something. And then they walk by him, Rein shatters him, the rest of your team speeds into him. That would probably be a pretty good play to do this, because you kind of want to end this fight before it starts, because now that you don't have an ult advantage, you basically need to end this fight with just Earth Shatter. So you want to be looking for a good opportunity to do that. And they don't have anything to block it with other than Zarya Bubble, so you can very likely get that before she can react to it, and they don't have a Hanzo or anything, so they're not going to Sonic you. Okay, here we're looking for Earth Shatter, right after this bubble probably, and you're dead. Okay, so you want to be very careful about that. If you're not going to immediately Earth Shatter, then what you probably want to do instead is just kite. Like when they do the Suzu, instead of you know, like if you're worried about the Zarya bubble blocking it or something, like you know they're coming in with ults because they haven't used anything basically the whole game. So instead of Earth Shattering here, the second option is basically you take your Lucio and he speed boosts, and your whole team just backs up and kites, and they don't get anything from the Kitsune. You just totally give them this hallway because you don't want to stand inside of it when there's a Kitsune rush going down it. So your whole team just wraps around here, and then they don't really get a whole lot out of the ult. And then you just play this corner and make them come out to fight you instead of like come out of the ult to fight you. You just don't want to fight them in here if you're going to let them use their ults. You basically wanted to stop this fight before they got to press Q, but since they pressed Q first, now you take the L, which is not fun for anyone involved. Okay, flanking here is fine as McCree. Probably want a Q right now. That's pretty good. Okay, I wouldn't have rolled in there. That probably kills you. So you just want to be really careful about rolling aggressively. If you're gonna roll aggressively, you better be rolling onto like a single target, or better be getting hard pocketed or something. So queuing right here, using your high noon to kind of zone the Genji is a good idea. It really limits his options on who he can go for. So right here he comes out, he deflects, which is like pretty obvious. You knew he was going to do that. So good job holding it, and then you kill him there. That's good. So right here, you probably just want to start shooting at this one brig here that's pretty weak, and then just slowly flank around back to the side, like over here, and like try and get the Genji. Or you're still in this fight. Like you're down 2, but if you hit one shot on this brig here, you've just traded 2 for 2. You're still down your Rein, but you're 2v3. This is winnable, but like not super winnable. But if you could stall this out long enough, your Rein comes back with Shatter, maybe you win. If you just shoot the brig there. So basically, I think you focus on hitting the brig, but McCree is really big, and same with like basically any hit scan that doesn't have like lots of movement abilities. So like Soldier 76, Widowmaker, McCree, Cassidy, whatever, but, Hanzo, like anybody that's that kind of character, even if they're not a hit scan, like what you want to do is you basically have your teammates die horrible, painful deaths as you sit off on the sidelines and kill people. So you basically don't care if they cap the point here. You want to win the fight is the important part. And the way you win the fight is by not dying and dealing as much damage as possible without dying. So you don't stay on the point. You stay off to the sides of the point in overtime almost always. The only time that you ever touch the point is like, oh, the game's literally going to end if I don't touch it right this second. And that's like overtime's ticking down, you have to touch it. But if anybody's on the point at all, like you have one teammate on the point, you basically, as McCree, you're just sitting here and shooting people and just kind of walking around and getting angles and trying to shoot people. So I would hit this brig, and then I would either go right, but I'd probably go left. So kill the brig, roll this way, and then start trying to shoot the healers in the back, whatever, something like that. Rolling onto the point here is just very, very dangerous. If you don't think you can win it, or they're pushing you or something, instead of, you shoot at the brig, whatever, and then you back up, and you just start regrouping. Just don't get staggered. So if you think it's winnable, yeah, go in and try and get some picks. If not, then just back up. There's no reason to roll onto the point here and die. So nice, you just shoot at the brig. A little late though, and you did use the roll there, so you died. But I think you just want to save the roll for like an escape. Not the end of the world that you died there. It's just like if you really wanted to try and take that 2v3 fight, you basically have to just make sure you don't die and deal as much damage as you can. Okay, so your team's regrouping. So this fight, you're coming back in. You still have the shatter from last fight. They used every single ult that they have that fight, so you basically just want to speed in here, go back to the high ground, and shatter just like last time. Hopefully, for the enemy's sake, they learned their lesson, but I don't think they did. Okay, let me just... I couldn't see anything there. It looks like it was going more or less pretty well. So you're going up here with your May and your Reinhardt again. The wall was a little early, I think. You want to wait, like you want to run in here a little bit. So they're already up here, right? It's like when you start this fight in the beginning of the game, and your teams run up here, your team wins because you have a Lucio. Then you can kind of wall pretty quick. Like somebody comes out, you just wall them immediately. That's fine. Right here, they've already got control of the high ground, so you kind of want to run into them a little bit. And then after they start to back up, then you stop them from backing up with the wall. Is usually what you want to do. And you want to make sure it's on a spot where like they actually can't help. Like this wall is just in the middle. The brig can, like, after the Zarya takes one step, she can heal her. The Kiriko, if she was not out of position, she could, like if she was like right here, she could just throw her Suzu right there. She'd be fine. You want to make sure the walls are a little bit more debilitating than that, and they actually completely block people from getting, having anybody help them. So I think I would wait a little bit on the wall or place it a little bit further back, one of the two, and I think that would have been a better wall. But it's not bad. It's still a decent wall. Isolates them a little bit. Okay, so let's see the shatter here. Okay, decent try on the shatter. Zarya's still dead, so as long as you guys are staying together and calling targets, I think this is fine here. Okay. It's a good charge. Okay, so basically they just kind of crumbled when you guys ran up there and all held left click on them. They didn't know what to do. I think it was partly the wall, partly the Zarya overextended a little bit, but that was not bad. It's just mostly the ult economy is a problem, and you gotta play a little bit more together as a team. It kind of just seems like once you guys get in a team fight, everyone just kind of fucks off and does their own thing, and then you're all just kind of clicking on people and hope they die. So I don't know if anybody's calling targets. Obviously I don't have the comms right now. Somebody somewhere should be calling a target during a team fight, and everybody should do, everything in their power to focus said target. Because everybody's focusing different targets and kind of just running around with a chicken like a chicken with their head cut off. So, want to see a little bit more communication, because it is clear that there isn't a whole lot.
That was good, but don't slack off now.
Okay, probably want to go high ground left side. Your whole team. Probably don't even want to stop here. You would have beaten them there once again. You guys are even, but you guys would have beaten them there because you'd have a Lucio. You just kind of like got lost partway there. Your BAP is dealing hella damage. So probably still want to go high ground as BAP here, and just chill up there while your team gets the point. Break the glass there. So your team should not be losing the sprint here, right? So the same thing that happened last round. You guys are Lucio. Enemy team has no Lucio. There is no way in hell that they should be beating you to this mega, and they did. In the same way that they also beat you to the high ground last point. There's no way in hell they should, because you have a speed boost and they do not, and they're not TPing out of spawn. They don't have I don't even think they have their Kiriko being Lucio and then turning like back into Kiriko and then TPing to them. They don't even have that. So you should definitely be beating them there. But I think what's happening is you guys just aren't taking a direct route. Like you kind of went up here, and then like you ran over here. You did a little loop. You smelled the flowers a little bit, and then you went back and came over here. So just have an idea of where you want to go, and what you want to take, which is usually the high ground is where you want to start. So you're gonna come out and you go straight there. You take this and you take the shortest route possible directly to where you want to go with your whole team. And then you take this, and if Ryan wants to swing in this corner or they're right here, fine. But your Baptiste can easily go up here, and he can shoot at him from up here. He can heal people. Like, you want to make sure that you guys are going directly to the high ground or to an advantageous position, whatever it may be, and you all are on the same page and going there. Because both times you guys have kind of started out not really in a great spot, and it's just kind of like the enemy did something stupid and it blew up in their face. And that's kind of why you've been winning, because the enemy's stupid, not because you're doing like the optimal play. Alright, so as Baptiste here, so you're doing a good job healing. I saw earlier you were doing insane damage. It was really good. So when people on your team are fairly full HP or not really in that much danger, I want to see a little bit more aggressive positioning where you deal some damage. Like, if nobody on your team is in danger of dying, you should be left clicking almost always. You should be trying to damage enemies. You should be trying to damage shields, doing whatever. And then if somebody on your team needs healing, go ahead and heal, yeah. But when everybody on your team right now like is like 90% HP, you don't need to be spamming heals. So try to focus a little bit more on damage in times like this. That's pretty good. So I do hear somebody walking to your right. Am I crazy? No. Okay, I'm crazy. No, there it is. Okay. So your team is up here. So right here with the BAP wall, you basically want to try and combo this with your Fire Strike. So make sure that your Reinhardt is on the same page as you. Obviously, Fire Strike does 100 damage. Double it through the BAP window, you'll do 200, right? So if you hit a normal 200 HP target, they just die. So I think right here, probably on the corner, you want to wait for the enemy to get a little bit closer, and then make sure that your Rhine is aware that you're about to do it, and then have him throw both of his Flame Strikes through your BAP window. Since you built it pretty quick, since you were doing really, really good damage and doing pretty good healing, you should probably just use it immediately here. Like, nobody else in the game is anywhere close to an ult, so you should just get this out of the way and just win this fight, I think. So, like, their Orissa's used her Fortify. You could probably just melt her. You could just one-shot the Brig, practically. One-shot the Kiriko. So just, once they commit a little bit, I think you should be using BAP wall here. So I don't think you should be backing up right now. You should be getting up a little bit more aggressive. Your team should be ready, and you should probably be like, okay, Reinhardt, save your Fire Strikes. I'm about to wall. Okay, 3, 2, 1, I would do it right now. And that was a good wall, too. Alright, clean. So now your entire team has their ults, like literally everyone. So you want to pick 1 to 2 people, and you want to say, okay, these are the ults we're using this fight, and kind of have a general plan of what's going to happen here. Just so you don't have some miscommunication and then all 5 of you press Q. That would be very unfortunate. So this fight, probably you want to use BAP window, maybe Shatter, I don't know. something like that. Probably Bap Window Shatter is what I would probably do. So you shatter them, you Bap Window to make sure everybody dies. Or just Shatter. Or just Bap Window. One of the two. Like, you can open with Bap Window just like I was saying at the beginning of the last fight. You can open with that, and then if you don't get a pick, maybe Shatter, or vice versa. You Shatter if it doesn't work out and you need more to push you through the fight, then Bap Window. But like, you need to just go in with a plan of some type of what ults you want to play for, and that'll affect your positioning and your teammates' positioning and how they want to play around it. So let's just see what you guys do. But okay, so once they commit here, which they just did, that's a good wall. Probably right here, just a really good time for a shatter or something. Okay, enemy is now using a bunch of ults. Your Cassidy used a high noon there. There's a good zoning ult. This is an interesting spot for it. That Genji's blind, okay. Interesting. Okay, interesting. I probably would have done that a little bit earlier if I was going to do it, but I probably wouldn't have done it from here at all. That being said, if you were going to do it from here, you definitely want to communicate with your Baptiste and make sure that he's going to throw an Immortality Field on you while you do that. Immortality Field along with High Noon is a pretty decent combo. You can get away with some pretty crazy shit like that sometimes. But especially if you're going to go for something that risky, you need to make sure that your supports are both aware. So just High Noon along with Speed Boost is really good. High Noon along with Immortality Field is really good. Both for different reasons, but fairly obvious reasons, I would think. But regardless, your team should be aware if you're going for like a hiding play of any type. So like if this was your Reinhardt hiding here, if you're going for a shatter, your team should know, so they're going to follow up on it. If this is a McCree hiding here and he's going to use his High Noon, your supports should definitely know, but everyone should know, so they can try and bait the enemy into your LOS, but also so they can save your pathetic life when when the enemy inevitably turns around. I probably wouldn't go for it here, but if I did, I would definitely make sure my Baptiste was aware. I would usually probably go for it like maybe over here or here, but probably like right here, and then have your Bap Immortality Field you, and then maybe I would do it up here, like so you can zone them off of your team. It wasn't a terrible play, but yeah, just want to see that. Just want to see the communication of your supports following up on it. Decent's beat a little bit late, but Decent's definitely still a winnable fight. So you are down a Bap here, so you need to be really careful as Lucio. Make sure you don't die a horrible, painful death. Once the McCree did get the Orisa one-shot with his ult, he probably should have called that out. Nobody was really focusing her after. Everyone was still kind of focusing on the Genji. I don't really know why. But so when Mr. Gary here killed 2 and got the tank one-shot, you just want to see, like, if the tank didn't die, he should have called that out, and then everyone else can follow up on it. Not terrible though. Used 2 ults, one of them pretty low value in High Noon, and the enemy used what? Also 2 ults, or 3 rather. Yeah, 3. So not a bad trade, and you guys can come back in here with an ult advantage and probably win. I'd probably take the high ground left side here, but you can also just push right in. That's fine. Using the Bap wall here, I want to see the Reinhardt throwing his fire strikes through it, or be ready to. But he did not. Probably want to open up with that. And then for the Mei ult here, I want to see how he did that. Just see this whole thing coming up. But yeah, you want to be trying to combo your fire strikes with Bap Window. It's a very, very insane combo. If it hits anybody, they just die or get tons of damage taken. That's a decent Mei ult. Usually I want to run in, throw it, and then wall, but walling behind them first is also fine, but it is good to use the wall to make sure that they can't just run in a straight line out of it. Unfortunate that you got speared in the face by an Orisa there, but I think your team does win this. I definitely wouldn't have shattered there. But so good to stick there and do some damage. Pushing in here is good. Right here, I'd probably stay right here. I don't like walking over to the right here. You probably just want to play with your tank. Also, just you should be focusing on the enemies that were all right in front of you there. Using the roll here once again is what killed you. So earlier when you rolled onto the point and you were in trouble and you just kind of rolled straight into them and then died, this is why you're dying again here. So make sure you're saving the roll either to secure a kill, like somebody's just out of your LOS, you're chasing around a corner, you can't quite get them, you roll into them and kill them. That's fine, but you only want to do that when they're alone, right? When you're in a team fight or something, you need to be saving the roll to save your own life. So right here, when she pushed into you like that, if you'd had your roll, you could have maybe rolled away towards your healers or something and lived. Anyways, I don't think we needed the shadow there to win the fight, but there's not a real reason to not use it, since you know you could always, you're not saving it for Overwatch 3, so it's fine to just sell the shadow somebody there, but I don't think you needed it. I usually would save it for like somebody touching it over time or something, but I think that Arisu is probably dead either way, in my opinion. So I think the main thing to focus on here is just communication. Make sure that your team is all together when you come out of spawn. Everybody knows where you're going, and you all go there together, and you take an advantageous position at the beginning of the fight. And then, you know, if you need to drop after that, that's fine. But like, you just want to make sure everybody's going the same direction at the beginning. And unless it's like you're running a tracer or somebody like that, obviously they wouldn't go with you. But like, if you're running a comp, you know, May, Cassidy, Baptiste and Reinhardt, then that's, you know, you usually stick fairly close together in that comp. McCree and May might take an off angle occasionally, but especially at the beginning, you're playing together and you're playing around the walls, and you just want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. And then same thing in team fights, you want to make sure that everybody knows that you're going to ult before you ult, because I'm seeing a lot of like you guys or somebody clearly knows that they're going to ult, you know, 10 seconds, 15 seconds prior to it happening. But nobody else on the team is aware, or if they are aware, they're definitely not acting on that knowledge. So I just want to see a couple more like combos, like Lucio Speed High Noon, or Mortality Field High Noon, you know, walling people and charging them, and making sure that your Reinhardt's ready for your window and he throws his flame strikes through it. Just really simple stuff like that, I think, will go a long way towards making your ult combos, or just your ults in general, being a lot more effective. Alright, so I'm going to end it there. You guys did Giga Stomp that game, though. Nice job, nice job.